ask questions of you directly. And please, people, be gentle.
Richard, yeah, just before we start with the questions, I can, anybody that already applied to small business for a leave and only received a reference number and still waiting for reply, they can email me with their reference number. And myself and the CEO of CIFA had an agreement that I can send this directly to him, and he will make sure that we get some answers. So please, my email address is sme@mweb.co.za. Send me that request, and I can forward it to the right persons and see if we can get some answers.
Thanks for that, Henro. So are there any questions for Henro?
That's an easy one. Thank you. The chocolate is in your inbox coming.
Gareth, you're on mute.
Hi, Henro. Pleased to meet you, and thank you for the talk and insight. It's been quite valuable. I just have one question, and we've gone through this route with our accountants of backwards and forwards. And because of the whole lockdown process, our company is, or my company is now 1 and a bit months behind in our PAYEs and UIFs, and automatically denied any form of relief. So as a result of this whole COVID-19, etc., has forced us into arrears, and now we also automatically disqualified.
So the question is, what must you do?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Send me your information. I will send it to a colleague of mine, Michael Bagram. He's on the labor portfolio. He's a lawyer. He's also a labor lawyer in Cape Town. Okay. And him and the commissioner is quite great, you know, are quite in communication with each other. And send me the email. I can forward it to them and see what we can do. We can also ask SIDA, of course, to be of help, technical, because even if you're behind, even if you lack a payment or two, SIDA is willing to help you and arrange with Department of Labor so that you and the Department of Labor can go into agreement to pay off this debt over a period, and then they will be able to help. So it's not just you're in a stop street now or a T-junction. No, there's definitely help, and everybody. That's one thing the government do understand. 99% of the things they don't understand of small business, but one thing they do understand, and the minister do understand it very clearly, is that small business is in very stressful times, and that most of the small business in South Africa actually live from hand to mouth, and 1 month without any turnover is just closing the doors. So they know this, and they try to sort out the problems. So there must be a solution for you. Okay, send me the email. I will see what I can do.
Thank you so much. I will do that.
And so you've got a question.
Yeah, thank you, Richard. Thank you, Henro. It's a very interesting topic here. I just have a question. We run a small business, and because we're small, we try to keep our costs down, and we have no real permanent labor staff. We hire as we need for projects, and we've done some really big projects. And we have hired a lot of foreigners to do the work, and since the lockdown, no business, no income, and these guys are starving, and it's been pretty rough on us. And our tax, unfortunately, is the bookkeeping is up to date, but we haven't submitted it to our tax guy or our accountant yet to do the actual tax submission. So we're between a rock and a hard place. So we disqualified because the tax isn't up to date, and no business and no income. So where would a guy like me go for some kind of assistance to put food on the table, my table, and food on the table of our guys who are, well, foreigners? So, you know, they're lost in the queue.
Yeah, yeah, and it's unfortunate, but it's, you know, it's a catch-22 situation. The government, because of their red tape, you know, systems, they allowed or they open the space for companies to operate under the radar, work with immigrants, sometimes legal, sometimes not so legal, and you will also, if you listen to what I said, most of the departments, you need to have at least 70% of your workforce must be South Africans. But my proposal is that you go and visit your bank, your personal bank of your business, because I'm sure they have some enough information about your business and your cash flow. And because there is an opportunity for them for a soft loan that's guaranteed by government. So unfortunately, the only way for a company like yours is to talk to your bank manager.
Thank you, Henro.
Okay, I've got a question here, Henro, from Guy Harris.
I know Guy Harris very well. Say hi
Okay.
to you.
So,
Yeah.
well, he's actually on the call, but he's just muted and doesn't have his video on.
Okay.
But he does have a couple of questions here. The first one is, why does government not emphasize and support business retention and expansion more?
Yeah, I'm actually the wrong person to ask that question because I'm not in government. So I'm the opposition. Of course, the opposition is driving this issue on every single opportunity that we have, because it's much cheaper to make sure that existing business are successful than to reset the button and let's say all of us start all over again. Of course, part of the government I think that is part of their goal, is to reset the whole economy so that we can restart and, you know, try to get rid of all the problems of the past. But that's just a small portion of government. Most officials that I know are also of the opinion that we must rather save business than start new businesses. So I'm sure the advantage or the benefit of COVID-19 is that it opens a lot of minds, and we can now see what can go wrong with a business and how quick can a business go bankrupt or insolvent. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned, and it's definitely an issue that me and my colleague will drive very hard when we getting back to Parliament and in the committee as one of the issues to drive.
Okay, thanks for that. I've got a second question here. I know it's a bit contentious, and it's around triple BEE. And the question here is that should we not rather measure BE on the size of your company 5 years ago, not currently? And I think I want to add a second part of that to that question, is that every year the codes change, and it's like a moving goalpost. And we spend an inordinate amount of time trying to be compliant with these new codes instead of actually just focusing on your business.
Yep.
So what is the answer? Is there a sunset clause, or is it just going to be an ongoing thing for the next 100 years? It just changes all the time.
Yeah, Richard, good question. This is my personal opinion. BEE, in Black Empowerment, it's a political tool used by the governing party to make sure they stay relevant in the community, you know, and they use it as a part of their manifesto in elections. So my opinion is that it's an unfair political tool that government is using. Of course, in the same breath, I must say, I'm a firm believer of redress. But I mean, we come a far way since 1994. Some do very well in the redress. Some companies stink at redress. But so the short answer is yes, there must be redress. No, we must get rid of triple BEE and just make sure that small businesses do what they're supposed to do, and that is to make money so that they can create jobs in South Africa.
Okay, okay. I've got one last question, which I think is very pertinent. And I think a lot of us ask the same sort of questions. Is that why do so few incubates, well, I don't know the right word, but incubated people graduate into accelerators and then to scalerators? So I think the question is, why do we have so few people coming into incubators and then moving into accelerators and then scaling up? There just seems to be a huge dropout rate, or such a few registration rate. We don't seem to have a great success story in growing small businesses from idea through to the next Google, so to speak.
I think the answer is twofold. One is most of the incubators is run by government. And unfortunately, at the moment, government, how can I say, government without stepping on toes, but there's a lot of corruption going in government. So government officials use incubators to generate income for personal benefits. So that's why, so most of the money that's spent on incubators don't land in the pockets of the entrepreneurs of that incubators, but in consultants and corrupt officials. That is the one point. And we need to, for sure, make an effort to stop corruption in government, but it will take a while. The second one is the attitude of the average South African at the moment. Because of government's sort of open hand, and there's an attitude of entitlement. So, for instance, a company will piggy bank his business, same business plan, same idea, and get finance from each department. So it will start with agriculture as a small holding farm holder. Then it will go to small business. Then it will go, and so it will carry on with that very same business plan, and get money, child the money, and then apply for relief again. So the answer is exactly what the Department of Small Businesses are doing at the moment, is because of the COVID-19, is to register businesses on the SMMESA.gov.za platform, so that we at least, government at least, know who is serious in running a business, who are ghost businesses, who are serious in businesses. So yes, so we need to have a business database, number one, and number two, we need to sort out corruption in government.
Okay. So yeah, so it's difficult question to answer. Has anybody else got any other questions? No. Okay. All right. Henry, thank you so much for your time. It was very, very informative. And sorry to put you on the spot a few times there, but I'm sure you're quite used to that from Parliament.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, we're going to end the meeting now. I will send out the videos later on